sister Tangna. Hello Tangna, how are you?
Hello, I am well.
Okay Tangna, what do you usually eat for breakfast?
For breakfast, I usually have a piece of bread with coffee, sometimes eggs, a glass of juice, and a little fruits.
Okay, what do you usually eat for lunch?
I usually eat rice with chicken salad and glass of juice for lunch.
Okay, what do you usually eat for dinner?
I usually eat bread and coffee.
Okay, do you eat fruits and vegetables every day?
Yes, I do. I eat them every day.
How often do you eat rice or pasta?
I eat bread almost every morning of breakfast and usually have rice or pasta for lunch about 4 to 5 times a week.
Okay, do you drink enough water every day?
Not really. I don't drink enough water every day, but I am trying to improve. Sometimes I forget to drink water because I busy or just don't feel thirsty. However, I know it's important for my health, so I am trying to drink more during the day, especially when I wake up and after meals.
Hello, this is my cousin. His name is Jose. Hi Jose, how are you?
Hello, fine. And you?
I am fine, thank you. What do you usually eat for breakfast?
Usually eat bread with butter, drink coffee or milk, and sometimes eat or fruit.
Okay, what do you usually eat for lunch?
Usually eat rice with meat or chicken and little salad and juice.
What do you usually eat for dinner?
For dinner, I eat bread and drink tea or coffee.
Do you eat fruits or vegetables every day?
Yes, I do. I eat fruit and vegetables every day.
Okay, how often do you eat bread, rice, or pasta?
I eat bread every day. I eat rice or pasta many times a week.
Do you drink enough water every day?
No, I don't. I forget to drink water. I want to drink more water because it is good for my health.
Do you think your diet is healthy?
I think my diet is a little healthy. I eat fruit and vegetables, but I eat some sweet too. I want to eat better.
Do you eat more fiber, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, or carbohydrates? Bread, rice, pasta, or sugar?
I eat more bread, rice, and pasta, but I also eat fruits and vegetables every day.
What would you like to change in your diet?
I want to drink more water and eat more fruit and vegetables. I also want to eat less junk food.
Hi, my name is Michelle, and today I am going to interview Dr. Andres about healthy eating habits and nutrition. Let's get started. Hello, Andres. Could you give us a little biography of yourself?
Okay, my name is Andres. I am doctor in psychiatry and in emergency.
So, doctor, what kind of food do you recommend for a healthy diet?
Diet of my nutrients is normally vegetables, fruits, variably nutrients, lean protein, atypisch is sugar, drinks, and so many water.
That's a great explanation. It's important to understand what our body really needs. Now, can you tell us what food gives us fever?
Normally apples, bananas, I don't know, broccolis, Brussels, I don't know. Normally it's that.
Interesting. I didn't know some of those foods were high in fiber. What about carbohydrates? Which foods have a lot of them?
Potatoes normal in my diet. Normally is that. Rice. Rice I don't like, but normally rice too.
Thanks for clarifying that. I think many people are confused about carbs. Now, is it good to eat sugar every day? What do you think about this?
That is different than sugar with fruits or sugar white process. Is very different. For me, sugar with fruits is normally so good. For example, apples or I don't know, bananas, berries, cranberries, I don't know.
It's very interesting. What can we do to eat better at home?
In home is difficult. It's very, very difficult. I work every day. It's very difficult, but I drink so many buzzers, so many water. I'm sorry. And I think so. I think so.
That's really helpful, especially for families who cook every day. Speaking of health, how much water should we drink each day?
I think it's 4 liters per day. Yeah. In fitness studio, in gym, I drink so many Wasser and water. Wasser is in German. The German is in my head. So many.
Whoa, that's more than I thought. Staying hydrated is so important. And finally, doctor, what is your advice for children and families?
For child is it's very fiber, broccoli, Brussels, carrots, I don't know, oats, brown rice, quinoa, almonds, I don't know. And in families, I drink so many water and vegetables, rice, tomatoes. I don't know. And that is necessary for life. That is necessary for that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Andres, for your time and for sharing all this helpful information. I hope this interview helps many people make better choices for their health. See you next time. Thank you.
Hello, Solange. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I am fine. Okay, what did your healthy diet?
Okay, so what defines a healthy diet? So first of all, a healthy diet is one that's balanced, includes a variety of all food categories across all food groups. One that is also culturally appropriate for the country or the region we're talking about, and one that is also sustainable for the environment. More specifically, what do we want to include within a healthy diet? We want to include a large variety of fruits and vegetables, carbohydrates, specifically complex carbohydrates, such as, for example, whole wheat pasta, whole wheat grain, oats, quinoa, etc. All of these complex carbohydrates. We want to include good sources of plant-based and animal-based proteins, such as meat, fish, eggs. Also plant-based proteins such as legumes, chickpeas, lentils, beans, etc. We want to include also healthy fats, so specifically plant-based fats and oil-based fats, such as olive oil, colza oil, sunflower oil, within our diets, and also include nuts such as nuts such as pistachios, almonds, peanuts, etc., to give us those healthy omega-3s and omega-6s within our diet that are really important for our brain health as well as our hormonal health. And also on the other side, we want to reduce. So we want to reduce the amount of processed sugars that are in our diet, so the amount of ultra-processed food in general, and we want to reduce the amount of saturated fats within our diet that is specifically coming from animal products such as meat, and other types of animal fats such as butter and cream. But yeah, specifically we want to reduce too many sort of refined carbohydrates, refined sugars, and refined fats that we find specifically in ultra-processed food. So what does that mean for our plate? For our plate, a healthy, balanced diet will be composed of about half of fruits and vegetables, a quarter of these complex carbohydrates, and the rest will be a composition of dairy products, animal protein, as well as these healthy fats. And we want to reduce the amount of ultra-processed foods within our diet.
Okay, thank you. How much water should we drink every day?
So this is an interesting question. Actually, there isn't any sort of scientific specific recommendations on how much water we should drink. So there isn't sort of an upper limit of how much water we should have within our diet. The overall recommendation that we have within nutritional guidelines is to have about 8 glasses of water per day. 8 glasses of, let's say, about 250 milliliters, which is quite a big glass of water. However, this would equivalent to about 1.5 liters of water per day. This doesn't, however, include also the water that we have within our food. Okay, so we have to remember that most foods also have a high percentage of water. So fruits and vegetables have a very high water content and contribute to the water intake that we need every day. The 8 glasses is sort of an overall recommendation. This could vary very much depending on the type of climate you live in, how much sports activity you do. If you're someone who transpires quite a lot, your water intake could be a lot higher according to your needs. Reversely, if you're in a very cold climate, you might be drinking a bit less. Often a myth around nutrition is that coffee, tea, other types of hot beverage will dehydrate you. This is not the case. So coffee and tea do sort of are also part of that water intake per day. So you don't only have to drink pure water. Obviously, water should always be our main beverage, but you can also include different types of hot or cold beverages to have that water intake throughout your day.
Okay, what is your advice for children and families?
So could you repeat that?
What is your advice for children and families?
Okay, well, that's a very broad question. This really depends on what is the status of that family and children. Okay, so in Ecuador, for example, the country faces double burden of malnutrition. So you have families and children that are facing undernutrition and poor diets in terms of quality, the amount of protein they're having, not sufficient calories. And on the other side, we have families and children who are facing overweight and obesity. And obviously, the type of advice that you would give these two situations would vary greatly. In terms of families and children that might struggle with overweight and obesity here, the main recommendations is, again, to try and reduce the amount of refined sugar and refined carbohydrates within your diet. Try to reduce, for example, the amount of sweet beverages you're drinking. So, for example, things like Coca-Cola, Sprite, iced tea, all of these really sweet beverages. And also, obviously, increase very much the intake of fruits and vegetables, of whole foods, and try to be a little bit more physically active. Okay, so try and walk more if they can. Try to do a little bit of physical activity where it's possible within their daily routines. On the other side, if we're talking about families who struggle with undernutrition and insufficient diets, this is a more complicated issue because it's often not only due to the diet, but also their economic situation and, for example, where they live and the resources that are available to them. So the solution isn't as easy because they often require more infrastructure, also more government involvement. But in general here, if we're just talking about food, we would encourage those families to increase the amount of animal products, specifically good quality protein that's in their diet. So things like meat, fish, and eggs, dairy products, to increase that protein intake. And also, when possible, generally increase their calorie intake through really high nutritious, calorie-dense foods that will give them all the nutrition that they would need to increase their calories and increase their nutrition status.
Okay, what foods give us fiber?
So the best sources of fiber come from fruits and vegetables. So any type of fruits and vegetables. Things like legumes, such as beans, lentils, chickpeas have a really good source of fiber, are a really good source of fiber. And then thirdly, complex carbohydrates, specifically whole grains, such as whole wheat cereal, rice, quinoa, all sort of carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates. Potatoes are a good source of fiber for our bodies. So in general, we talk about two types of fiber. We have insoluble and soluble fiber. These are both included in all types of food, all types of vegetable or plant-based foods. This sometimes will vary in quantity. And both will have an impact on our digestion, improve our digestion, and improve our gut health in general.
What food have a lot of carbohydrates?
So carbohydrates is the widest food group. Okay, so it's the biggest food group that we have in food categories, and there are many products that we include in carbohydrates. Okay, so we have to distinguish mainly two families of carbohydrates, which will be complex carbohydrates and simple carbohydrates. In complex carbohydrates, we include things like our cereals, our grains, our tubers, things like pasta, rice, quinoa, potatoes, yuca, manioc, etc. All these sort of complex carbohydrates that will give us long-lasting energy. So that's one group. And the second group is simple carbohydrates. Simple carbohydrates is also a wide variety. So we include fruits and vegetables, okay, are a source of carbohydrates. Specifically, fruits are a source of fructose, okay, which is a simple carbohydrate. Then we have all dairy products. That will be a source of lactose, which is also a simple carbohydrate. And then obviously we have all the added sugars. Okay, so any type of simple added sugar, such as table sugar, white sugar, brown sugar, cocoa sugar, what else? Palm sugar, honey, agave syrup. All of these added sugars, and obviously there are a lot more within industrial products as well, like high fructose corn syrup, for example, that is used to sweeten beverages and also other products. Those would all be as well considered as simple carbohydrates and specifically added sugars.
Hi everyone, in this short summary I'm going to share what I learning about the interviewings with our families and also from the answers given by some doctors and nutritionists about healthy eating habits. Let's go! Okay, the family member one, they usually eat bread or cereal for breakfast, but for lunch and dinner they eat or prefer rice and vegetables and sometimes a meat. They eat fruits and vegetables almost every day and drink much water, but they think they could eat healthier by adding more fiber and less processed food. For the member 2 of family, for breakfast they often eat eggs or toast. Lunch includes rice, beans, and salad. For dinner they have soup or something light. They also try to eat fruits and vegetables daily and drink a good amount of water. They like to reduce sugar and increase healthy snacks. Finally, for the number 3 of family, this person usually eats very basic meals with some vegetables and bread. They think their diet is not very healthy and want to add more fruits. Drink less water and eat fewer carbohydrates and like rice and pasta. The interviews with the doctor and nutritionist. Dr. Andres, he recommends a diet based on vegetables, fruits, lean protein, and drinking lots of water. He avoids processed sugar and he prefers natural sugar from fruits. For example, apples and bananas. He says it's important to drink at least 4 liters of water daily, especially when working or exercising. And the nutritionist, they suggest a balanced diet including whole grains, vegetables, and healthy fats. They also highlight the importance of planning meals at home to avoid junk food. Staying hydrated is crucial and they recommend drinking water throughout the day, not just when you are thirsty. It's very important. The 2 tips for the nutritionist and the doctor. Tip 1. Replace processed sugar with natural sugar from fruits like berries or apples. It's much healthier and provides more nutrients. Tip 2 for the nutritionist. Plan your meals ahead at home to avoid eating unhealthy snacks or fast food when you are busy. And that's all. I really enjoyed learning about different eating habits and how a small change can make a big difference in our health in your life in general. Thanks for watching.